Good afternoon. Markets just closed. Yes, they did. And it's 1:18 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. One of the things that we're going to do is go over the MMTs on how, on a 60-minute chart, that we got extremely oversold. We're going to start with Priceline right here. Priceline had a gap open down of $40. The range on Priceline today, $64 intraday range. And as we have said, is we're looking right now at the buy. There's going to be short-term buys. We're going to buy calls on that one. All of them are deeply oversold closing out today on the intraday. ICPT, once again, ICPT had a $58 range intraday. Google, big bellwether, big profit taken out of here. But listen, they're set up for a very short time to get them while they're down here and then sell them. So it's oversold. $38.95. Big bellwether BIIB, 60-minute chart. Take a look at it. Deeply oversold on a 60-minute. This is where the dips are bought. Now, Tesla, same thing. But remember, what I am saying is Tesla had a $19.63 range. But remember, they're tradable because in this very time series, in this very element of price action and time series, they're good for a trade off of the bottom. Let's take a look at the ETF, the IBB. It's down here. We're going to be buying that. It's about as oversold as you can get that I've ever seen in a very long time. And these are all good upside trades as the buyers were taking profits and the stock market orders were triggered. Now, we're going to take a look at some other ones here. And what we're going to come up with is SPLK. All of them have the same story here and now for buying opportunities. So we're going to take a look at a couple other ones. Here, NVR, real estate stock, down $25 range. GHC, but they all have the very same thing in common. They're oversold. VIPS, $12.40 range, and we're all over this one. This is $137. They had great earnings, so we're going to get our shopping list together. Another one we're going to take a look at just very quickly. NUS. Now, that thing gapped today, went straight up to 100 and dropped like a rock. Right here, that 60-minute chart. This one was not oversold. In fact, just the opposite, overbought than what we're looking at. I'm going to show Visa here today. It too is getting in the oversold area. So Yelp, YELP, with lots of upgrades today, it's oversold as well. And oversold means that they're going to get set up for a short-term rally. Dow Jones Industrial Average, you can see Visa, Goldman Sachs in here, UTX, IBM. They all didn't have that great of a day. Dow Jones Internet, once again, Priceline had a $64 day. Netflix, $37 down. Let's take a look at Netflix. Netflix, right now, I can tell you, I can't remember when the last time I've ever seen a stock this oversold on a 60-minute chart. That means everything is setting up for what? Time series, buy off at the bottom and sell. You don't fall in love. Let's take a look at Amazon. Oversold extremely. Amazon.com, $12.90 range. Take a look at that Trip Advisor. Very oversold. What was the range? $662. Hold on. Here we go with the Dow Transports. They were down. The range in the transports, DJT, 110-point range. And a lot of the leaders in there had their distributions, and today's ranges are mild compared to some of the other ones. Here's a broader look at the S&P 500. We already know what CMG. This one down. Let's take a look at it. This one was so overbought, it was pathetic. But short term, there is a small trade there that we'll be looking at. And once again, this ALXN, which is another biotech, very oversold. Just about, hey, every one of these pay money. There's not one that doesn't. And remember, you don't fall in love with them. You buy them, and then you get out of them, and that's what we're going to be doing. Autozone took a good haircut today, because it did. Another one, ADS, Alliant Data Systems, took a nice haircut, down $10.45 range intraday. That, too, is ready for a buy. S&P 100, well, we already know what the big culprits are. Now, Apple did okay today. Gapped open on speculation, outperformed Amgen, 494. Gilead Sciences. Let's take a look at Gilead. That one recovered very nicely. It got super oversold on a 60. And the Amgen, AMG, and once again, another biotech, extremely oversold. They all have that very oversold. And what I will say is the following. Goldman Sachs. Well, it's not. We'll just stay away from that one. But these are the ranges that we're looking at in the S&P 100. Here we are in the S&P Midcap 400. SLXP, oversold. Once again, nice opportunity. This is the midcap. MTD, once again, oversold. They all have the same picture. Green Mountain Coffee, GMCR. That one's setting up nice. Oversold. Once again, on a 60-minute. Take a look at Panera. Panera Bread. Oversold. As far as its mile ranges go and whatnot. And we'll take a look at more. Small cap. BLW. Big haircut. Buffalo Wild Wings. MicroStrategy. MSTR. Big haircut. Let's take a look. They all have the same thing. They're set up for buys. LGND, one of the ones we like. Oversold. Look at that. They're all oversold. I'm just going to let you know it. And not only that, let's take a look at Baker Hughes. Not Baker Hughes, but BH. It too, well, it's not. For a small cap, that's a pretty big intraday range. So we're just getting a look at some of these. Once again, MDSO, oversold. $5.46 range. BOFI doesn't have a lot of volume, but they all have one thing in common. On the 60-minute chart, they're all oversold. The Morgan Stanley Cyclical Index, look at here. Whirlpool got slammed at the bottom. There's quite a few of them in here. Sears Holdings, another retailer. That one's not oversold. In fact, that one's a short, really. Honeywell and whatnot. These are the cyclicals. They had somewhat of a haircut and it was broad-based. Take a look at the pharmaceutical index. Wow, VRX. That's on our list. Whoa, you want to talk about being oversold? Write that down, MMT. VRX. VRX. ENDP, extremely oversold on the 60. Get that ready. SHPG, buy, setup, oversold. This is the Morgan Stanley Pharmaceutical Index. And so Jazz, JAZZ, we already mentioned that one. That one is really going to hit that oversold as it is already. So there are some other ones that we'll cover later, but that's what it looks like. On the gold and silver, well, listen, there's nothing for us to do in here. We stay away from these things right now. Oil services, there's nothing real big in here, but we will go over some OIIs, best of the breed. Slumberburger, SLB, down $1.68. These ones didn't sell off that much, just to let you know. We're looking at new 52-week lows, and, well, there is a couple in here. We're going to go over them, but Those are new 52-week lows. And near the 52-week lows is right here. And they're, don't have much of a range, but they are on the low list. Here we go on the intraday low count. Range on Chipotle Mexican Grill, 27.51. LinkedIn, how about that one? $14.30. Let's take a look and see if it's oversold. You darn right. That thing is so oversold, it can't help but go up in the morning. I mean, we got more trades. Here, BIPS. That one doesn't qualify. Let's take a look at NUS. This one doesn't qualify either. We already know that. So we already covered this. Let's take a look at PXD. No, they don't qualify. We have much better list. So we're going to move right along. That was the intraday low count. Intraday. What we have here, everybody, is what we call the loser list. And it goes wide. We already covered some of these in here already. But here it is. VRX, we already covered it. These are going to be the ones that have a bounce. The broader market today is definitely on sale. What do I mean by that? I'm not saying to buy and hold. No. I'm talking about intraday from oversold conditions. And from those oversold conditions, we have more trades to make money on right here than I have seen in a long, long time. Meaning that as the markets went down, they're setting up buys. So I just want everyone to be aware of the loser list. Okay, MMT? Now, the thing about near 52-week highs, that list here is the opposite of being oversold. So the ones that didn't correct, we will go through the list and get, period. And not only that, the list of the gap open down this morning was pretty big. We only used to see this back in the bear market days. I mean, I can just say right now that we got a big list of how that morning gap opened down and up. Both had their plays in here. And not only that, we're going to show everyone which ones we like. The ones that are, you can't help but make money in this environment. And not only that, that's today's update.